Hi, welcome to our Flutter mobile development platform, and this time we are going to work on this Flutter 3.35 version and the Dart 3.9. And before anything else, we have to set it up our development environment. We can head on to our Flutter .dep website, and perhaps we can just search it down, say download Flutter SDK. So this Flutter SDK for Windows or for Mac will require you to download, and once that you have it, you can just save it on your drive location, or probably in C drive. With a typical manual installation will not be working in the installation of VS Code, but rather we're gonna be doing in the manual installation. So pretty much your platform will going to be detected automatically. Though of course I'm in Windows, running on Windows, all you need to do is to download this Flutter window 3.35.4 stable zip. So once that you have downloaded this one, you have to extract it, and somewhere in your drive you can copy the whole file after extracting, right? So that would be first on our Flutter. The moment that you have already the Flutter, suppose I have put it on my C drive, I believe, yes, and I save it somewhere in my Flutter deb, I believe so. Where is that folder? Right, so probably I have dumped it in my document, and perhaps I have to look for that Flutter development. Yeah, it's over there. So once that you have this one, you will notice that we have important file that we will be needing, especially working on the Dart programming, and that would be located on our bin. So actually this is the whole Flutter SDK, and perhaps if we're going to be working with a command line or console programming of Dart, we might be needing to perhaps to save our Dart file over here in the bin. But in the Flutter application, it doesn't matter. We can put it somewhere else. But for this, we might be needing also the Visual Studio. And for us to set our Visual Studio, we have to copy the path of the bin, right? And by copying this path, we will going to edit the environment of our system variables. So once that you open this one, environment variable will be set as to lead to the path, and by editing it and adding a new one, you can copy paste it over here. Though I have it already, but then I'm just only showing to you. But you have to remove the double quote there, perhaps, and you can just enter and click OK. So for now, of course, I will not be doing it because it's already set on my local path. The reason behind this is whenever we are now opening our VS Code, so the VS Code will going to link to our SDK, right? So later I'm going to open this VS Code, and perhaps one more important thing needs to be download is the Git for Windows. Okay, so I'll show you that one. Download the Git. Okay, this will gonna be for Windows. Okay, you will be heading on this one. If you download this one, you will lead on to the Git website, and that would be required. Latest source release will be appear there, and just hit the button download. Perhaps I will not be showing it to you the process of installation upon downloading, and it's just like a continuous um, press next until it would complete your Git. In fact, this Git will going to be a part of our system environment, particularly when we are now in the VS Code. The VS Code will allow us to link our uh, Git file uh, within our coding environment. Okay, so let me just uh, show you another one of working on this. Say, for example, I'm going to head on to File, open the folder, right? And by just opening an existing file where it is a part of the Flutter dev application, or perhaps using our Dart programming in commands console, right? So there you go. We'll come back to this VS Code. What we're going to do next is we need also to install and configure an Android. So this Android download, let's say download Android. Will be a part of our emulator in case we'll be running on of course we're running on a cross-platform. We can use an emulator for such. We could run a window type like it mimic the mobile looks, right? So this is what we need, an Android Studio, and it has to be installed. Basically, the moment you have installed that one and downloaded and installed, since I have already downloaded and installed it on my computer, so let me just open up the Android Studio, and there you go. There will be a requirement as well to set it up by setting up the SDK as well using the line command. But though we are not be working our code in the Android, we're gonna be working straight from our Visual Studio. Right, there you go. So let me just click you this, and probably if you won't be seeing the custom settings, right? So I can go straight away now to my settings over here, and you will find the SDK. Maybe I can just type it over here. So SDK, right? So there. So in our Android SDK, there you go. So I have already seen that one over here, right? Yes. So this is the most important now. Once that you have that SDK, particularly it was already stick there, and there is also a Dart for SDK here, right? Right, there you go. So basically this one it needs to have also a setting on our Android. So once that you have added that command line, just take that one and you're good to go, and click OK. Right, but this will take a bit time because downloading an Android Studio will take more time. It depends on the speed of your internet connection and computer. Alright, so perhaps now let's start working on your first ever Dart program. How can you know that you are successfully installed the Dart? Okay, but we have also still some other prerequisite before we start working on our VS Code, and that's for adding the extension. Of course, first thing, of course, you have to search the Dart. Okay, and of course I have already installed the Dart, and there will be like an install button like this, and you have to install the Dart in as a part of your extension. And similarly also, upon installing the Dart, we can also search for a Flutter, right? And similarly, we have to have this extension to be installed. So once that you have it now, basically there are many ways how to start up your Dart programming. Let's do it first in the a typical Dart programming. There are many ways, just like I said. We can just head on to the command palette over there, and then you can type the dot, right? So you can see Dart program, Dart, it's over there. So Dart new program or so, yeah. But otherwise, if you want to go straight in the terminal, we can also do the same thing. But as my recommendation, we have to create the dot program within inside your or within the bin of your SDK Flutter. Right. So what I will do, I'll open up a folder and I will head into my document where I save my Flutter SDK. So this is my Flutter SD deb, and on the bin, right there you go. If I click the bin, now I'll be heading on this. So meaning inside the bin, I can now literally create a folder because it has to be there. So you will see that the Git repository has been set and some updates were there. So it's linking the Git at the same time the SDK since we have set up our environment. To check whether the dot is working, so I can just type in here dot in the terminal and version, okay, and then the version appears then, and this would be my 3.9 SDK version of dot, right? So from then on, I can now create a Dart file here that we might be needing. One requirement, of course, we should have an internet connection. There's many ways to do that. Either I can go by clicking Control Shift P or palette shortcut, and then you will see that the Dart new project there, right? Or otherwise, I can write it here, Dart. Oops. Okay. Over here. So my terminal is not quite clear. Okay, there you go. For example, I make it here Dart. Okay. Create -t console. Okay, console, and I can now write any folder will be there. Say for example, I'll write Dart programs, or right. If I enter this one, it will going to be generating the file. You can see now in my bin, right there. Actually, it was created properly now. There, you see that all the dependencies files are being executed, and I have of course a Git repository message there. And perhaps you will see also over here that the Doubts program is in this folder. I can point now to this folder or like file and open the folder, and then instead of on the bin, I'll just open the Dart programs, and there you go. It will lead you to this bin. Technically, the program is resided here in the bin. If I open this, and this is the main program, right? So to run this one, of course, we can run this one straight away on the terminal, or if you have already set up your connections, we can select this start debugging. But in fact, if you don't have it yet on the terminal, okay, by default, since this is a single file, we can write Dart run. Automatically it will execute this package, and there's a hello world 42, yeah, because there's a argument method for calculate over there showing the 42 exclamation there, right? What if we created using a palette or the Control Shift P of the Visual Code? So for example, I will head on to the bin only, right, to the bin, and I will create another file there, right? So maybe I'll just select the bin like this, right? Okay, without the use of a terminal, okay, and I'll be doing Control Shift P, right, and you will see a new project there, right? Once in the new project, there will be a bare bones web app, CLI application, console application, Dart package, or a server app. So for us, we are working on the console application. Do select this one, and it will open a dialog box where do you want to save your Dart file. So for example, same. I want to uh, head on to my Flutter SDK. Flutter, where's that one? Right, but I will going to put it inside the bin, right? And okay, I'll just probably create another file here, I mean folder, and I'll make it Dart activity. Okay, activity. Okay, so there you go. I'll just select this folder and then click this button, and it will ask me to create the file name of this even without entering the dot extension dart dart. So example, I will be doing this one, activity or act 1, and press enter, right? So there you go. There are files will be generated over here on your left main panel. You will have the bin, the live, the Dart tools, some other Git, no, and y'all readme md and so, and repository has been updated. So once again, you'll see my code. There you go. And if I want to run that one, back to my terminal, and automatically I'm already inside this act. For the meantime, I can just execute dart run. But in fact, if I have multiple files inside the bin, say for example, I will create a new code for this, but let me capture this one. We'll just simplify it. I'll make this one as a activity 2, act2.dart. Okay, this will be an empty file program. Okay, and I'll just do a very simple hello world instead of showing this argument, right? There you go, and save it with Control S, or either file save all or save. So of course, if I'm running Dart run, it will only run the first one, which is because this is as per generated dependencies on the batch was act1.dart during the Control Shift palette configuration selection there. But rather, if you want to run it separately with a multiple file Dart there, we need to point the path into bin. So I will write it here, Dart run bin slash act2.dart. So meaning I'm specifying only that particular file to be executed, and you will notice that hello world is only executing. So there you go. So by the way, this is just a very simple Dart program, and by the time that you have the Flutter SDK, you can also jump straight away to Flutter development. So that would be our next recorded video. So for now, this would be our lesson for today, and perhaps for next video we will now work on the Flutter development app, right? So thank you for now.